Friends, today we have brought you such an incident that you too will be surprised to hear. Today's story is about a wealthy man's shining Fortuner car, and in front of that car at the crossroads, his divorced wife begging. This is a true incident from Jaipur. It was morning time. At Jaipur's Ganesh crossroads, as always, there was heavy traffic jam, and stuck in that jam was a shining white BMW car. Inside the car sat Sushant Sharma, a well-known businessman who, along with his driver, was on the way to Mumbai for an important meeting. When their car reached the crossroads, Sushant told his driver, "Brother, stop for a while. See how long the traffic jam is. What is the hurry? So many people are standing ahead. There is no benefit in rushing. Let us go slowly. We still have plenty of time for our meeting." Sushant's driver followed his words and stopped the car at the crossroads. Sushant's eyes fell on a few women standing nearby. These women were in old, dirty clothes. On their faces, tiredness and helplessness were clearly visible. With them were small children moving here and there in dirty clothes. Seeing them, Sushant thought they were beggars, and watching their condition melted his heart, because he was always kind by nature. However busy he was, helping the needy was his habit. He told his driver, "Lower the glass." As soon as the glass was lowered, Sushant took out his wallet, pulled out some notes, called those women, and gave each of them 500 rupees. With a smile he said, "Keep this. It will help you a little. Buy some food for your children." The women took the money, blessed him, and slowly moved away. The traffic jam began to clear gradually, and as Sushant's driver was about to move the car forward, suddenly Sushant's eyes fell on a woman standing by his window, knocking repeatedly, saying, "Sir, you did not give me anything." Hearing her voice, Sushant was startled, and his eyes fixed on her face. The face was tired and filled with dirt, yet still seemed somewhat familiar. Instantly he lowered the glass further and said to her, "Hey you are Malika, right?" The woman froze when she saw Sushant. Tears came into her eyes, and in a soft voice she said, "Yes, I am Malika, but Sushant, you here?" Sushant's heart skipped a beat. Friends, this was none other than his divorced wife Malika, with whom he had separated 4 years ago. Sushant, shocked and embarrassed, asked, "Malika, you, in this condition? You were from a good family, and at the time of divorce in court, you also took 50 lakh rupees from me. Still, you are begging on the streets, going door to door. Why, Malika? You could have lived your whole life in comfort. Then why this situation?" Hearing all this, tears flowed from Malika's eyes, and she said, "Sushant, give me some time. I will tell you everything." Sushant told Malika, "All right, then you sit in the back seat of my car." Sushant told his driver, "Open the back door." The driver immediately opened the door, and Malika sat inside the car. But as soon as she sat inside, some shopkeepers and passers-by nearby became suspicious. They thought, "Is this rich man taking this poor woman into the car with some bad intention?" Very quickly, a crowd gathered at the crossroads, and people began to question, "What is happening? Where are you taking this woman?" Everyone started to doubt that man. The women who were begging with Malika also came and said, "Where are you going with this man? Is he forcing you?" Everyone standing there began to whisper, and they asked, "Brother, what are you doing?" Seeing all this, Malika immediately spoke up. "This is my divorced husband, Sushant Sharma. I am going with him by my own choice. He is not forcing me." The crowd calmed a little, but some people were still whispering. Some even began to say, "He seems like some big rich man. Why has he taken this poor woman into his car? Surely there must be some reason, maybe some bad intention." Hearing all this, Sushant became angry, but he stayed calm because he knew if he said anything, the matter would grow bigger. He told Malika, "Let's go from here." Sushant's driver started the car and they left from there. Sushant took Malika to a nearby hotel, gave his driver some money and told him, "Go to the market and buy her a good sari, shoes, and some necessary items." The driver immediately went and returned with a beautiful blue sari, shoes, and a small bag. Sushant told Malika, "Go to the hotel bathroom, take a bath, and wear these new clothes." Malika did so. When she came out in the new clothes, Sushant was surprised to see her. He thought how much the situation had changed her, but her beauty and innocence were still the same. Now Malika looked much more confident than before, like a new bride. Sushant told her, "I am going to Mumbai for some urgent work. If you give me some time, I will come to this hotel tomorrow and meet you." Malika said, "All right." Sushant said, "You will meet me in this hotel only. You will not go anywhere. I am arranging all your food and needs." Sushant told his driver to arrange for Malika and said, "I will come back early tomorrow and meet you." Malika said, "All right," and went to her room. Sushant left for Mumbai. Reaching Mumbai, he finished all his work quickly during the day, but at night, while lying in the hotel, he could not sleep. On the other side, Malika also could not sleep. Both of them, in hesitation, kept changing sides the whole night. The next day, Sushant returned from Mumbai and quickly reached the hotel. Reaching the hotel, he saw Malika and felt a little relieved. After a while, the two sat and started talking. Malika began her story. She said, "I never wanted to take divorce from you." Sushant said then, "Why did you take the divorce?" She said, "When our marriage happened, my family members saw your wealth and gave me in marriage to you. My brother-in-law and my brother were very greedy. When they came to see you after returning home, they said, 'We will surely do the marriage in that house no matter what. And after marriage we will get her divorced, so that we can take money and put pressure on you.' But before marriage, I did not know about this. A few years after marriage, they started provoking me to divorce you. They would say, 'You will get a big amount of money from him, and then we all will start a new life.' I got misled by their words, and in court, I demanded 50 lakh rupees compensation from you, and you even gave that money." Sitting in the hotel, Malika continued her story. "After the divorce, my brother-in-law and brother snatched the entire 50 lakh rupees. They said, 'They will arrange my second marriage and buy a flat so that I can start a new life.' But slowly all the money was finished. My brother-in-law invested it in his business, and my brother spent it on his marriage. When the money was gone, my family threw me out of the house. Even my parents did not stand with me. They started saying, 'You are now divorced. You are a burden for us.'" Tears flowed from Malika's eyes, and she said, "I had no other way, Sushant. I was helpless. Sushant, I fell into my family's trap and ruined my own home. My brother-in-law was so greedy that he forced me to do all this, and I got misled by his words. And now I've come to the streets. When I was thrown out of the house, I worked in other people's houses, sweeping, mopping, whatever work I could get. I did it. But everyone insulted me. So I left the work and started begging on the streets. One day, when I was begging at the station, I met some beggars at Ganesh Square. They took me with them, and I also went with them, because I had no other way. I started living with them, and slowly I started begging. I knew it was wrong, but I had no other way. I had married you, but in my heart I still had the same love for you. I had kept our wedding picture with me, because that was my last hope." Hearing all this, Sushant was stunned. Tears started flowing from his eyes. He thought how the greed of one person can destroy someone's whole life. Sushant asked Malika, "My mother used to miss you a lot. Why didn't you ever try to meet her?" Malika, crying, said, "I felt ashamed, Sushant. How could I meet them? I had done wrong to you. I felt that Sushant's mother would never forgive me." Talking and talking, the time went to 12 o'clock at night. Sushant said to Malika, "Today also I have a meeting in Mumbai in the evening. I am going to Mumbai again. If you give me your address where you live, then I will come back and meet you again." Malika gave her small rented house address, and Sushant left for Mumbai. After finishing the meeting, when he went to sleep, still his condition was the same. The whole night he could not sleep. He kept thinking about Malika. He thought, even if Malika made mistakes, her heart is still pure. She had no fault. It was Malika's family members who had provoked her. Can I give her another chance? On the other side, Malika also kept changing sides in her small house. She thought, Sushant gave me so much respect, but am I worthy of him? The next day, Sushant quickly finished his work and returned to Jaipur. He reached the address Malika had given, but there he came to know that Malika had again gone to Ganesh Square to beg. Sushant reached the square and started looking for Malika. Malika saw him and was surprised. Sushant said, "Malika, come with me." He seated Malika in his car and headed towards her rented house. Malika's house was a small one, with an old cot, some broken things, and on the wall was hanging the wedding picture of Sushant and Malika. Seeing that picture, Sushant stopped and asked, "Malika, our divorce happened 4 years ago, then why is this picture here?" Malika started crying and said, "Sushant, I never wanted to divorce you. My family took me on the wrong path. I still love you today as much as I loved you at the time of marriage. This picture was a shelter of our old memories for me. I used to console myself by looking at it, thinking maybe one day everything will be fine." Sushant's heart melted and he said, "Malika, even if you made mistakes, your heart is still pure today. I forgive you. But now we are legally separated. I will definitely help you." Then Sushant says, "My mother missed you a lot. Do you want to talk to her?" Malika's eyes sparkle and she says, "Yes, Sushant, I want to talk to Sushant's mother." Sushant immediately calls his mother and says, "Mom, Malika has been found. Talk to her." Malika, hearing Sushant's mother's voice, starts sobbing. Sushant's mother says, "Betty, where were you? I missed you so much." Malika says, "Mom, I made a very big mistake. Will you forgive me?" Sushant's mother immediately says, "Betty, mistakes are made only by humans. You are my daughter-in-law. I always loved you. Sushant, bring her home." Sushant cannot ignore his mother's words and says to Malika, Come home with me." Malika hesitates, but Sushant gives her confidence and takes her home in his BMW car. As soon as they reach home, Sushant's mother arranges an arti plate to welcome Malika. Mother-in-law and daughter-in-law hug each other and start crying. Sushant's mother kisses Malika on the forehead and says, "Betty, you have returned. Now everything will be fine." Sushant says to his mother, "Mom, she had taken 5 million rupees from me. Is it right to accept her again?" Sushant's mother replies, "Beta, if a mistake made in the morning comes back home in the evening, it is not called a mistake. Mistakes are only human. If she is repentant, then forgive her." Sushant forgives Malika and gives her a small responsibility in his business so that she can become self-reliant. Malika slowly regains her confidence and Sushant and Malika begin a new life with love and trust. Friends, this story teaches us that the value of a relationship is not in money, but in trust and love. The greed of Malika's family had brought her to the streets, but Sushant's kindness and forgiveness gave her a new life again. Greed destroys a person, but humanity and forgiveness join broken relationships. Another lesson of this story is that a person's respect is not defined by their situation, but by their heart. Sushant had seen Malika begging on the streets, but he did not recognize her for her past. Rather, he recognized the value of her as a human being. So, friends, today's story ends here. How did you like the story? Don't forget to let us know in the comments. If you liked it, encourage us with a like. And those who watch the video till the very end, write complete in the comments. That way we will know who watched fully.